Hi everyone, happy Thursday. Welcome to another live stream. This one's going to be probably pretty powerful for all of you that are taking on this distress niche for 2024 and beyond. So if you could please, if you're joining us either live in the group or here via Zoom, if you could just let me know who's here, your name, your location, and let me know if you are currently marketing to homeowners that have an auction date. I would love to hear. So yeah, just post away. I like to make these very interactive. So let me know where you're at in your name and if you're currently marketing to homeowners in a auction status. And we'll get started in just a few minutes. I did post in the chat the download for today. So if you're attending live, you have download.
Yeah.
I do have it automatic muted as you come in. So please keep yourself muted so there's no craziness in the background. Hi, Kathy. So Sal, yes, is in Florida. I'm very new, new to the CDPE. Okay, that is okay. You're in the right place. Let's see here. Hi, Clara. How are you? Corey is in PA. Awesome. My husband's family grew up in PA, so very cool. Am not marketing to auction date clients. Okay. Hi, Doug. Doug is in California. Very cool. Okay, so just continue to post your name as well as where you are located. I'm just letting some more people in. If you're just joining us, if you scroll up, and you know what? I'm just going to post it again. Here's the free download for today. Hi, Scott. Lots of familiar faces. So I created this download because this is what we're going to talk about today. And so as we go through today's live stream, let me know what questions you have. Happy to answer them. Hi, Charles. Oh, you're in Chicago. Very cool.
Yes, I am.
All right, welcome. So if anyone is watching live in our Facebook group, if you want to private message me or send me an email, info@blueprintshortsales.com, I will go ahead and get you that link to the free download today. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and go ahead and get started. Like I said, if you're just joining us, make sure you click that link, the free download. Just above, I'll post it again, because that will help you go through today's live stream. Not currently marketing. Okay. All righty, let's go ahead and get started. Oh, hey, Karen, you made it. Hello. Yeah, hi, Debbie. All right, everyone. So today we're going to talk about how to market to families with an auction date. So I broke it down in 3 different sections: why market to families with an auction date, how to market, what to say, and then I'm going to talk briefly about the letters that I've used and some support. And so a lot of families, so let's talk about these 3 bullet points. So as I'm going through this presentation, if you have questions about this document or what I'm saying, just go ahead and post your questions. I will scroll back through and do my best to get them answered as we move through this. So why market to families with an auction date? So there's 3 reasons that I have in here. One, they're at the very end of the foreclosure process. They're more likely to reach out to you. And many families with an auction date, they believe there are no options. So I'm curious, for anyone that had posted that they are currently not marketing, especially specifically to auctions, why? Why do you not? I'm curious. So a lot of people market to families that are in a pre-foreclosure status, or they just got a lis pendens or notice of default. But my number 2 lead source has always been from my auction letters. And so these families, like I said, are at the very, very end of the process. And the reason why we market to them is they still may have some options. They don't have a lot. And so inside of our community, we really do try to spread as much awareness as possible to, hey, come to us earlier on in the process, okay? Because they will have more options. I actually just met with one of my foreclosure defense attorneys this past week, and he said, Heather, we're at this weird standstill right now. There's all these homeowners that just continue to push their situation underneath the rug, or they feel like someone is just going to come bail them out because of everything that was in place with the moratoriums and the pandemic and all the craziness. So Debbie, yes, my number 2 lead source is direct mail. Awesome. You have to develop guts to go after these clients. So are you just saying in general, families that are in a distressed situation? So the second bullet point is they're more likely to reach out to you. So if you can really get a good marketing piece and you can reach out to these families, you're probably going to get a lot of calls. A lot of them don't even know that they have an auction date, which is absolutely crazy. And so we do try to include proof of that auction. I don't know how many times I get a call from a family and they're like, oh my gosh, I did not know I had an auction until you sent me this letter. Now they did know that they were at the very end of the process. So I want all of you, as you're planning for 2024, to start marketing to homeowners that have an auction, okay? It should be a separate marketing piece from the pre-foreclosure, because we want to be able to help these homeowners as well. And so, like I said, many of them feel like at the very end of the process, there's no options, but they still do have some options. I've seen it where they actually could keep the home and they got a loan mod, but I do feel as they are at the very end of the process, there's going to be less options, okay? I had one seller that called me and they had an auction in 1 hour. Obviously, we're not going to be able to help that person. But there's families that will call me and they have an auction in 2 weeks or 2 months. And so if you're able to research that information and in your area, you're going to find which homeowners have that auction. I highly suggest to market to families that have an auction at least 2 weeks out and past, because it's going to take you time to get that letter going and all of that. Okay. Prior to COVID, I subscribed to Property Radar, no longer use them. That was my main source of distress sales. So yeah, I do feel like all of you that are wanting to take on distress sales, don't leave these people on the table. Go and help them. They need your help. They don't know where to turn. And so it's just a really great option if you can market to these families. And it should get your phone to ring fairly quickly. So obviously this year has been a little bit crazy. I always get the question like, how many deals do you close from your letter? Majority of my deals come from my attorney relationships, but from the letter, in a normal year, it's about 2 deals a month that I'm closing. Now, of course, you have to continue to build that pipeline. But inside of our community, I really show you guys how to analyze your business, what is coming in, what is going out. And that is what I'm currently working on right now. And those letters have always been my number 2 lead source for 12 years now in a row. And so the auction date letters, they should go out every single week. So just keep that in mind. Remember, these families have a date. They need to call us like yesterday. So it's really important to reach out to them every single week, send a letter. So let's move on. If there's any questions on why you should market to families with an auction, please go ahead and post those questions. I will get to them at the very end. How to market and what to say. And so I truly believe you have to have a very heartfelt letter, okay? This is not about you taking on another listing or about the money. It's about really holding their hand and helping these homeowners navigate through the foreclosure process. And if they have to leave the home, exit with dignity, okay? And so this is some words that I've really used throughout the years, a lot of trial and error with these letters, okay? So I'm suggesting use some verbiage like this inside of your letters. I have a front and back. It's very colorful. It's very much a call to action. Homeowners don't know. They just don't know. And a lot of them right now still have that equity. So let's help them pull that equity out. If we determine after all of our due diligence there's no equity, okay, then we can proceed with a short sale. So I'm curious, are there a lot of short sales right now in your market, or is it families with equity? Because people come to me and they're like, oh, I haven't seen any distressed sales. Well, if you have not been in this business every day, even during the pandemic, you're not going to see them. And so once you put yourself in this distressed niche every single day, like Karen attends my stuff all of the time. She is doing awesome. She is learning. And if you're doing that, those deals are going to start to come to you. So just keep that in mind as you're planning for 2024. But I really love this. Surround yourself with the right people and a professional team whose focus is on you and your family and not a commission. It really does make a world of a difference. Can you make a very good living as a distress expert in your area? Yes, you absolutely can. I've made well over 6 figures for multiple years in a row, but I don't go around saying that. Like, really, it's like holding their hand, because if you do it the right way, it's going to lead to so much more business down the road. Okay, so cold calling and door knocking. I'm not sure anyone on the live stream last week. If you were not on the live stream last week, I had a special guest, Asia. She is a part of our coaching program, and she is now, she's been very, very kind. She is coming on the 4th Tuesday of the month inside of our group, and she is teaching her system of cold calling and door knocking. And so she's had a ton of success with cold calling. And so I'd be happy to give you her first session. It's an intro session. So if you just send me an email or message me on Facebook, we will get you that free training. But the reason why I'm putting cold calling and door knocking on here is I go back to the meeting I had 2 days ago with my attorney, and he said, Heather, these letters, they're still working, but again, people are just sitting there. And so we have to do something to stand out. And so I've never been a big cold caller. However, inside of my program, I'm always stressing to everyone, you have to jump outside your comfort zone. Does cold calling scare any of you? Yes. It's like really scares me. However, as I'm planning and finishing my game plan for 2024, cold calling is going to be on there. And I'm doing that after I send out my letters. So we send out the letters, and then a week later, my team is going to call these people. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to say yet, but cold calling, I'm not going to door knock, but cold calling is something that I'm going to implement. It's going to help you stand out. Asia has been very, very good at, teaching us what to do. And she said, cold calling, you got to do it. There's not a lot of agents out there doing that. So keep that in mind as well as you move into 2024. And then everyone always says, what script do you use? So when someone calls me from these letters, I really want to know, like, hey, when is your auction date? And they may not even know. So if you cannot find the information, even though you sent them a letter, advise them to call their bank. That is the best way. So, hey, who's your lender? Okay, it's SLS. Okay, let me provide you with SLS customer service number so you can call them and find out exactly when you have that auction, because it may have passed already. Unfortunately, a lot of times these sellers wait the extreme last minute to call you. But I don't really believe in a script. What I do believe in is letting them just talk to you. Let them tell you the story. Hey, you received my letter. You probably have an auction date coming up. Can I just hear what happened? Just tell me. I'm going to take some notes. And then as you go through that conversation, there's certain questions that you want to ask. So I've done a live stream on my short sale intake sheet before. If you missed that live stream, again, please email info@blueprintshortsales.com, or you can send me a private message on Facebook and we will give you that short sale intake sheet. And so that's really important to have if you're planning to start letters, whether it's now or in the new year. Carry that intake sheet around. Why is it so important? It's important because every single lender works a little bit differently. Every single end investor is a little bit different. Is it FHA? Is it Fannie Mae? And so after you get through a lot of these questions, you're going to eventually be able to really help these families come up with a game plan. So does that make sense? So again, if you missed last week's success story with Asia, she talked about cold calling. She came on our group a couple weeks ago. And so please, I would be happy to send you that free training of hers as well as the short sale intake sheet. So just send me a message either through Facebook or email, and we will go ahead and get that for you. If you don't have this download, if you just scroll up, and I can post it again at the end, but I did create this for you. All right, so let's talk about my auction letter. So I created this auction date letter. And I don't give it inside of our free group. It is available for anyone inside of our coaching program, but I do want to talk a little bit and why these letters are so important. The auction date letter I created about 13 years ago, but it took me about a year to really do a lot of testing, a lot of trial and error, different tweaks, different colors, relocation assistance, all of that. But that auction date letter specifically talked about short sales, okay? And then as the market shifted, I decided to tweak that letter and make it an equity lead letter. So it is very, very similar, except it does talk about that equity, but it also talks about a short sale because we certainly don't want to get these people too excited because the reality is it may say they have equity, but we have no clue what is going on with the title. If it's an FHA, they might have a partial claim. They may have an IRS tax lien, back owed HOAs, who knows? But the equity letter right now is taking place of the auction. When the market goes back and we 100% know it's going to be short sales, then we can switch to that auction date letter. So those two letters, again, are available inside of our coaching program. It has always been our number 2 lead source, and I've been consistently every single week sending that letter. I know that sounds crazy, but it's literally been every single week. So it's a really, really great letter. Like I said, it's been our number 2 lead source. Our number 1 lead source, I think I've mentioned before, is the book and our relationships with attorneys. Obviously, real estate's a people business. But the great thing is when you get calls from these letters, you can refer them over to some attorneys that you have on your team. So it's really just great all around. Again, you want to make sure you're sending these out weekly and be consistent. If you're going to pull the data on, say, a Wednesday, pull the data on the Wednesday, do the research, prep everything on Thursday, get them sent out either Friday or Monday, depending on how many you have. So it's really, really important to make sure you're doing it the same day every single week. And then go ahead and implement some cold calling strategies as well. All right, so the support. So really inside of our group, if you haven't already, I would love to take a 15-minute action call with you. Yes, it is me who calls. I really want to dive in a little bit deeper with your business. Our mission is to help 100,000 families across the United States. And we're certainly not taking on everyone because I do want to try to keep these areas open. So like for example, Karen's out in Maryland. There's not a ton of spots left available in that area. We do keep an eye on that because obviously you're going to have the letters, you're going to have the book, but really the support comes when you're helping these homeowners navigate through the foreclosure process. If they cannot keep the home through a Chapter 13 or a loan mod or bringing their loan current, we do want to help them exit with dignity. So that may sound familiar. Tony at the CDPE uses that all the time, and so I absolutely love it. You can get your CDP designation. So for all of you that are not aware, this designation rocks. It's a certified distressed property expert. And so you're able to get that. We will help you find these leads. We will help you understand why it's important to research them, when to send the letters, and of course, all of the follow-ups. You can't just come into here and expect to get calls just from this. And so the idea is to mirror everything that I have done in my 17 years. So that's the letters. This is just the auction. And so we do have a pre-foreclosure series letter. However, that's more of like a drip plan because these homeowners know that they have time to just sit in the property. So again, follow-up methods, but really remaining consistent inside of your business. So I would love to answer any questions that you have now. I see that there is a lot. So go ahead and post anything. Maybe it's about a past live stream. But again, today is really marketing to families with an auction date. And I'm really encouraging you to take that step in 2024 and start marketing. Hi, Brisa. California. Yes, we talked yesterday. Okay, so if you need the download again, I'm going to send it again for you. There you go. So, oh, Debbie, how do you decide who gets the equity letter? So that's a great question. I send the equity letter out to anyone that is in auction status. Because if you sit there and you spend hours and hours and hours researching, you may go to Zillow or whatever site, blah, 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 and you're going to see that, oh my gosh, it has equity. But the reality is we have no clue what is going on with the title. And so right now I'm encouraging you to use that equity letter and just send it out every single week to families that have that auction status. And so this is what mine looks like. So right now my team goes in, we put that in, and then they also are able to find the phone number in a different system. It's actually a free system. So that's currently what my team does. So that's a good question. I did just door knocking is the way, Sterling. Yeah. So Asia is currently pregnant, and so she's not currently doing door knocking, but she's had a lot of success with the cold calling. And that's something that I've never really implemented. It wasn't always my thing, but I absolutely love how inspiring she is. So I'm like, okay, I preach to all of you to jump outside your comfort zone. So that's something that I'm going to do for the next year. Volume is really low. So it may not be low. It's just, again, I give this analogy is like, okay, I went out and I bought my dream car and I never saw anyone driving that car. And now I'm in that car every single day and I'm starting to see it. It's because I'm in it every single day. So when someone says, the volume is low, there are a ton of families that either have been like either the list pendants or notice of default, or a lot of people that even don't have that filed. And so, the reality is bankruptcies are on the rise. Foreclosure filings are going up. America's in debt. So I think if you do a little bit of research, you're going to find that there is a lot of families in your area, or enough to make it a good business. If there's no equity, what is the benefit to the homeowner of a short sale? Okay, that's great, Corey. Okay, so actually that particular question may be coming in a live stream possibly next week. So I'm not going to touch much on that, but the whole idea is to help these homeowners avoid foreclosure. And so there's certain ways that I go about explaining those benefits to them. So I'm going to say tune in next week because that's actually a really important question to ask. Yes, I do a lot of marketing. Yes, I'm giving away free stuff. But if you can't explain the benefits of a short sale to a homeowner, then you shouldn't be here. So stay tuned for any of that. Any questions? Let's see here.
Hey, Heather.
Yeah.
This also will be archived so that we can see this webinar again, right?
Yeah, so these are always, the replay is always available about 24 hours later. And then usually about a week later, we do put it in our guide section. So for anyone that is unaware of that, if you go to the guide section right here in our group, here's the past recorded live streams. So for anyone that, missed the success story, it's here, but I don't put like the short sale intake forms. So again, if you want that, you got to send me a message.
Thank you.
Charles, I am a CDPE. I'm assuming you meant to put E, and I went away from this, but with your help, I will get back on track. Yes, yes. Do you get your info from title as well? So no, I do not, but I know that may vary. There's a lot of title company states. And so if you're a title company state, you know, it's probably going to be a really great idea to partner with a title company. I do not get my info from the title company. So I do have a lead source inside of our community that I use. And then I have another source that my team will log in and try to find the phone numbers. Of course, you know, those phone numbers may change quite often, unfortunately, because people are changing that. The auction dates inside of our lead system actually will tell you when they are. And so again, you really want to separate those leads. And so we will show you how to separate auction date from pre-foreclosure. The auction date should be picked like same day every week. Pull the auction date every single week. That's where consistency comes in. So you really have to stay consistent with that. And the pre-foreclosure is typically every 2 to 3, depending on how often you're going to send the series letter. The series letter is 8 letters. I don't really, so Alexis, thank you. What are my biggest rebuttals when you get from homeowners? So I've really learned over the years that I probably have to say no to some sellers. You are not going to be able to help everyone. And so if they call you and they're just in general angry or they're in a huge denial, and you'll probably know this, it's best to just pass. Because if it's going to be a headache for you, it's going to be a headache all around. It's going to trickle down to your family. It's just not a good situation at all. But I would say the families that are getting our auction letters in my 12 years of doing the letters, I probably only got 1 or 2 people that called and yelled at me. One of them actually said that they don't even have an auction. They said they didn't even have a mortgage. So my guess is they probably either were in super denial or whatever. But most homeowners that are getting our auction letters or our equity letters, they're thankful because they actually knew it was coming, but had no idea it was already scheduled. So I really don't get a ton of homeowners that are angry, which is really great. And so the auction date ones really should get your phone ringing fairly quickly. The ones that take a while are the pre-foreclosure because they know that they can just kind of sit still in the property for a while. Do you work with those that are not in your immediate area? So yeah, in Chicagoland, I market to 1 county right now because I do have coaching members now in Chicagoland. And so I do try to keep that for them. But my attorneys work in 7 to 9 different counties here in Chicagoland. So I will drive up to an hour and a half to go to these properties because inside of the program, you do not have to be an expert in that particular area. You have to be an expert in how that bank processes the short sale, how it should be done. So if you come to me, Breja, and you say, hey, I got a property with a PHH, or I got a property with SLS, I'm gonna know how to navigate through that. And so, you know, pricing it is really important. If it's FHAs, pricing it is a little bit tricky. And so that's a really great question. I would not just limit yourself to one small area, branch out, build a relationship with an attorney in all the counties in your area, but you don't have to just stick with one county. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'm getting a lot of emails and messages through Facebook. If you want that training, oh yeah, so the training from Asia is not in this group. And so if you want the intro training that she taught inside of our coaching program, you're going to have to send an email or a message through Facebook. Okay. So please do that. And then again, here is the link to the 15-minute action call. Would love to chat with you further. If there's no additional questions, I hope everyone has a blessed Thursday. And so next week's going to be our last Thursday until after Thanksgiving. And obviously, I'm not going to go live on Thanksgiving. So let's make next week a really great week, a really great turnout, and then we'll be back after Thanksgiving. Breeza, could you give a brief detail about the training you mentioned? So Asia is one of our coaching members. She's had a lot of success with cold calling. And so she had reached out and she's been very generous. And so we now have that on our training schedule. Inside of our coaching program, it is the 4th Tuesday of the month at 10 a.m. Central. And so the training that I'm going to give to you from her is just an intro. And so in the month of November, she's going to talk about talk about a little further what does she do, like when a homeowner hangs up, or really going about handling all of the rejection. You're very welcome. All right, everyone, thank you and have a blessed afternoon.
Thank you.